Good morning, Cyclones. My name is Jacob Cisneros-Baca, and here's Wednesday's newscast. This week, we have several sporting events going on, which all will be broadcasted on pwhnews.net. We have the Powder Puff on Wednesday, Thursday is volleyball, Friday is football, and Saturday is soccer. So be sure to tune in and watch them on pwhnews.net. We are here with some of the Powder Puff players and cheerleaders, Tandy Martin, Dominic Trujillo, and Tori Whalen. So, what are your guys' plans to win the game?
Our motto is definitely to hustle, hit, never quit. So hopefully, we'll see how that works out for us.
Why did you guys choose to participate?
Well, I really regretted not playing last year, and they made it sound like it was going to be way more fun this year, so we just decided to sign up this year.
What are you most excited for?
The cheerleaders.
Yeah, I'm excited to actually be on the field and get to experience what it'll be like on the big field.
Do you have any messages for the opposing side?
We'll see you Wednesday.
And for Dom, are you excited for your performance? Have you been practicing a lot?
Oh, definitely. We've practiced about 3 times now for this, and us guys are going to get all dressed up like girls and go out there and perform a performance for you guys. And it's going to be pretty exciting. Can't wait.
Okay, thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you in trouble for what you have displayed on your vehicle? Recently, a Pueblo West High student was called in by the administration and talked to about what he had displayed on his truck. We interviewed both the student and administration. Here are their interviews. Hi, this is Cody Stalser, and he was the student that got called in for what he had on his truck. So, Cody, can you explain to us exactly what happened?
Yesterday, I came to school with the Confederate flag and American flag on my truck, and in 5th hour, I was called down to the office called down to Miss Nogary's office, and it was Miss Nogary and Mr. Gomez. And they were both questioning me on why I had it. Miss Nogary asked me what was my reasoning, and I said it's my First Amendment, or my right. I have the right to because of the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And she asked me for a deeper reasoning, but I didn't have much of a better reason than the First Amendment.
Okay. If a student came up to you and said that it offended them, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that it's not my fault they're getting offended by my actions. I'm not going to change my actions because you're getting offended. And so I'm not going to change that, so basically deal with it.
Okay. What does the Confederate flag mean to you personally?
I'm not from the South, but I understand what they're fighting for. It's for the Southern heritage and Southern pride. That the Confederate flag doesn't actually represent slavery. It's the South fighting against the North to try and keep their heritage and their pride together.
You mentioned that you have done some research on student rights. What did you learn so far?
Yes, the Colorado Student Free Expression Law says that even though the school has rights for the First Amendment, they can't do anything about me expressing myself because of freedom of speech. And the only way they can do that is if school is being disrupted. But I don't see this being disrupted because the flag is outside of the school on my personal truck. It's not in the school. The only time you can see it is when you're outside of school, which when we're outside of school less than we are in school.
And I just want to make sure that it's clear that you don't mean to set out and offend anybody by having the flag.
No, I'm not meaning to offend anyone. I'm not being racist. I'm not a racist. And if I do offend you, I'm not meaning to, but it just happens.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Cody.
Yep.
Hi, so I'm here with Mr. McCown, an administrator at Pueblo West. So, Mr. McCown, can you run down what happened with this whole situation? To get things
With the
going?
Confederate flag?
Yes, with the Confederate flag.
I know that I had duty out in the morning, and I saw a flag flying in the parking lot, and one of the staff members commented on it. Wasn't a very positive comment. So I brought that to the attention of the other administrators. We called the student into the office, just asked them about it. Why you want to fly that flag? What it means to them. Not a big issue, but we wanted to find out more information about it. So made a couple of phone calls to the admin building, and it was decided that it's probably not a good idea. Called back in the student, called the student's parent, and said, based off of what we know about this, based upon a couple of Supreme Court decisions, appellate court decisions, we're going to ask if you wouldn't mind not to bring it back. And both the father and the son were awesome about this, very cooperative, understood, and said, okay, we won't do that again. So they volunteered to not do that again, and I don't know that it's an issue now. But there was no threat of getting anybody in trouble or no angry words. It was just a flag, and thought if we could cut it off now, it'd be a good thing.
So the main reason he got called in was because it was a distraction.
A couple of reasons. Not only did I say that a staff member complained about it, and it wasn't a very good complaint, but then we had a couple of other staff members come in. We had 2 student groups, and not groups of students, but student groups come in and complain about it. We had some phone calls from parents and some emails that were sent to administration about that. And my thought was, if a parent had driven by, or anybody, it could have been a student, and taken a picture of those flags with Pueblo West High School in the background, I just wouldn't want that image out there of us. Look, talking to one of the parents said, my son was flying that flag and at his place of work, business, and somebody came into that business and complained to my son about that flag. But once he got to know my son and found out that he wasn't what that person had thought, he thought better of my son. Well, not everybody will have that opportunity if this gets out, because people will be taking constant ugly pot shots at a student who, in my view, doesn't deserve that. I mean, I only met a student one time, and he seemed considerate, soft, kind-hearted, and I don't think he deserves any negative label. So,
What is your response to people saying that this is a violation of the First Amendment right of freedom of speech? What is your response to that?
a couple of things. I used to teach American government and American history. It's not. The Supreme Court has consistently backed up school boards for dress codes so that we can decide what a student wears. If there's going to be a disruption, then you probably can't wear it to school. But every time a student has taken, or a family has taken a school to court, they've always sided with the school. And as far as First Amendment, you have to be 18 to be considered an adult in the United States, and then you're issued. But I want you to keep this in mind. There are districts in America, like a water district or a school district, that has quasi-legislative power. They can make and enforce their own rules. So we might have a rule that says you can't wear whiskey or whatever on a shirt. Can you do that at Safeway? Absolutely you can. It's not against the law, but it's against our code. So there are things you can and cannot do on district property where you can do them other places. So because we have that right, the Supreme Court has supported the schools.
What are some other things that students can do, not to get called into the office or anything, to stop causing the distractions from things they put on their vehicle, from things they wear? What are some things they can avoid to get them out of trouble?
I would just say, if in their mind there's doubt, then ask. Just come to me and just say, hey, what about this shirt? If I think it needs to be covered or turned inside out, or probably shouldn't wear it again, I'm not trying to hurt you. I mean, school rules aren't meant to offend anybody. And I know that one of the things the student said was, I didn't mean to offend anybody. I believe that. But the truth is it offensive? Because if it is offensive, and we've seen it in the newspaper for the past 2 years, that it's absolutely offensive. It's divisive. People go on from side to side, and there's arguments, there's fights, and there's violence because of it. And I wouldn't. That's not his intent. But if that image is out there, I wouldn't want that to come back to him in any way. But if there's a concern, if there's doubt, it's really just ask.
What will the administration do if some students more students started to follow after this and start donning the flag on their vehicles?
I would say, very similar to religion, that what people believe in is in their heart. Why would they need to let everybody else know that? Because what religion am I? Exactly. You don't know. Why do you need to? So if that's part of my heritage, if that's part of my belief, why then do I need to use the educational forum, what a school district stands for, which is education through curriculum? Why would I need to use that as a medium to get that to other people? It's not. I don't think it's the place for it. So if you come here, it should be free of distraction, and I think that's one of the things it could have caused was a distraction to other students. So my hope is that it wouldn't.
Well, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule, Mr. McCown, to
You're
let us
very
interview
welcome.
you.
And,
And hopefully that clears up most of the concerns with the students.
you have any other questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you goes out to both Cody and Mr. McCown for those great interviews. Hopefully that clears up most of the controversy and confusion about the whole Confederate flag issue. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure you have a great pigskin weekend. And don't forget Powder Puff is tonight, so go and support the boys and girls that are playing.